So hello friends, welcome back to the channel again, and again I'm coming back on the channel and making a book review after a very long time. Though I had promised to make reviews quite frequently, but I failed to do so. But the reason is definitely I wasn't reading much to make a book review. So anyhow, let's without wasting any time, let's get started. So the book which I'm going to review today is here, that is Black Hole War by Leonard Susskind. So the book is actually by the Back Bay Books. It is actually a US imprint book imported in India, and I talk about the book. It's around 400 pages, and the book has been published in 2008. So the main actually I had read this book quite I think around 4 years back, and as I had holidays currently going on, so I read this book again and decided to make a dedicated review on this book, because this book is definitely an underrated and deserves to be in your reading list. So let's get started. The main gist of this book is revolves around a debate between the two great minds of the 21st century. One is Stephen Hawking, and the other one is our author, who is Leonard Susskind. Here is his face. If it's visible anyhow, you can also Google him. So the rift actually starts between these two, Stephen Hawking and Susskind, around which this book is. So it starts with the Hawking's radiation theory, which came in 1970s, presented by Stephen Hawking himself, which stated that when a black hole engulfs any entity, then the information about the entity is lost forever after the black hole's evaporation. In a layman language, one can say that when the black hole dies, the information about the entity which it engulfs also dies. So this was the theory of Hawking's radiation. When it was presented, it was really revered in the scientific community, because Stephen Hawking was a big name in the scientific community in 1970s only. It was similar to what Albert Einstein was in the early half of the 20th century. So he was actually quite revered, appreciated for his theory. But there was only two theoretical physicists and also founders of string theory who actually pointed a mistake in the theory of Stephen Hawking, which was actually a big thing. And the two were actually Gerard T. Hooft, the partner of our author, and author himself, that is Leonard Susskind. So these two people were actually the people who pointed out the flaw in the Stephen Hawking's theory, that was Hawking radiation theory, and it was actually the violation of quantum mechanics, because Hawking's radiation stated that the information also dies with the death of black hole, but quantum mechanics is strictly says that the information in any circumstances can never be lost. And with this, Leonard Susskind, who was actually a founding father of string theory also, he pointed out this point, and after which Stephen Hawking was quite envious, one can say, and there was a big dispute in the scientific community, which started with this in 1970s and went for 40 years around. So for supporting his idea, Stephen Hawking came with his own many ideas, and Leonard Susskind also supported his ideas that he was right, that quantum mechanics was violated. And with this, Stephen Hawking came with the idea of holographic principle, which stated that any certified specific region in a 3D space can be described by using the information around its boundaries, which was this theory was actually called holographic principle, which was given by Leonard Susskind. In a layman language, one can say holograms, as we know, holograms are actually visual representation of something which is not physically present there, but their image is there. That is hologram. So holographic principle was given by Stephen Hawking, which countered Stephen Hawking's radiation theory. And after this, there was a great dilemma in the scientific community. But only in 2004, this dilemma ended when Stephen Hawking accepted his mistake and changed his mind and reversed his theory, and after which both these theoretical physicists became friends again, Leonard Susskind and Stephen Hawking. So it was a major win for our author Leonard Susskind, who was actually a string theorist but also a theoretical physicist, and came up with a great idea of holographic principle, which even today I would say in the 21st century is one of the greatest theories. So if this is the main gist of this book, which goes around this black hole information paradox, that is also called black hole war, which was actually a war between Stephen Hawking and Leonard Susskind. And so this is the main gist of the book. And even after the 2004, when Stephen Hawking accepted his mistake, there was a great ask by the scientific community, many great theoretical physicists like Brian Greene, etc., for Leonard Susskind to be awarded Nobel Prize in Physics. But as the theory of Leonard Susskind's, like string theory and his holographic principle, which actually led to great changes of mind for Stephen Hawking, are actually of theoretical nature. And as of with the current advancement and the technology which we have, we cannot experimentally find the theories testable. And there is a constrictive clause in this Nobel Prize, especially for physics, that it cannot be given for the theories which are not testable. So that's also a reason why Leonard Susskind was not awarded Nobel Prize in Physics, because his theory were actually great and immense, had immense impact. Even in the practically, we know holograms are a great part of today's world. And for the same reason also, Stephen Hawking was also not awarded Nobel Prize in Physics for his Hawking radiation, because it was also a major theory about the black holes, definitely. But I believe it should be given to because as a lover of science and a popularizer, I believe that Stephen Hawking should be given Nobel Prize posthumously also. But though, anyway, this was the main gist of this book, which I conversed with you just now, which was actually a dispute between Stephen Hawking and Leonard Susskind. So a great book, which I definitely recommend you to read. And for anyone, even if you are not interested in the science, let's say, I still recommend you, because this book explains all the theory revolving around this rift between these two physicists, and explain the scientific theory in a very lucid, avid manner, which will make you read this book viably. So definitely a recommended book. And definitely rating I would like to tell you, which I have given to this book. It's one of my favorite book of all time. The rating I have given to this book is actually 9.3 out of 10. So a must read book, must buy. Thank you.